Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Natalie and this is Eve's Rising Tarot. And this is my son Gavin, who is making a guest appearance. We're going to be doing a channeled message from Spirit for whatever needs to be heard for the highest good of the collective. It's a general reading, so keep that in mind as you listen. Please use your intuition to discern what is meant for you to take from this reading and what is meant to leave behind. That's very important. And how we'll be doing it is Gavin will be kind of shuffling and pulling the cards, and he will be giving his perspective from the masculine approach and vantage point, and I'll be adding my perspective on what I see in the cards from the feminine. So you can get a little bit more of a 360 view from what's happening in your life. So with all that said, let's get into it. You ready?
All right, let's get into it. All right, what's happening in your life currently? I'm going to draw 3 cards, and this will give me a perspective into an individual or collectivist approach as to what is going on currently. I'm going to shuffle 3 cards, and then we will determine and interpret their symbology based on a masculine and a feminine interversal role. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can take these so they're out of your way.
All right.
Over here.
All right, viewer, we have got 3 different cards. So they came out in this order. So we have first the Cosmos of Connectivity, the Lantern of Insight, and the Veil of Illusion. From what I see in this particular card here, the Cosmos of Connectivity, there's a myriad of planets that are arranged in an astrological significance, commonly seen within the astrological precepts of many other archetypes within the astrology sect of study. And this particular Cosmos of Connectivity card is, the exact description of the card is, only through the Cosmos of Connectivity, where all beings, times, and spaces are woven in a timeless dance. And the three symbolic words of this particular card are universe, unity, and infinity. And then after that card that came second is Lantern of Insight. Lantern of Insight is right here. And from what I perceive in this card, there is a certain amount of uncertainty regarding this particular mist wood in the background, the mistiness of the wood. And the description of the card goes as follows: light the lantern of insight, casting a gentle illumination upon paths yet to be discovered. And the particular 3 symbolic words of this are illumination, wisdom, and enlightenment. And then third most in this spread is Veil of Illusion. And previously, as my mom were practicing, we got this card just for
I was thinking it came out again.
Yeah, it did come out again, and it was very coincidental that it came out again in the exact third order.
Third position.
Yeah, in the third position, which was very significant. A Veil of Illusion. Lift the veils of illusion, seeking truth beneath the surface of a deceptive, or through love and career authenticity. And then Clarity, Truth, and Revelation are the 3 cards. So in sequential order, we have these particular cards. So we have Cosmos of Connectivity, and we also have Lantern of Illumination. And then on the third most draw, we have the Veil of Illusion. And the symbology of which sources pertain to me to describe to the viewer or the collective is the necessity of connection, and then utilizing said connection to establish insight, and then that insight then allows you to establish a better illusion, or a better framework of which to dispel disillusionment, or illusion, or deception, or seeing perspectives, or thinking patterns, or behaviors, or whatever is pertinent to a particular set of individuals in their pursuit of enlightenment and abstraction. And abstraction can be a myriad of terms, like Veil of Illusion. This would be a term of abstraction, and an abstraction is any sort of work, particularly in religious context, the divine abstraction is representative of a divine event, and all of these cards that have been presented to me are what are known as oracular abstractions, or they are foretellings of a future yet to come, but the future is not determined by a set amount of action, but rather a certain act of collective actions. So not just one action is going to lead to this exact causality. It will be a myriad of actions that will not be determined by a set outcome, but rather by an outcome that is applicable to the manifester and the evolution of the spirit undergoing.
I like that. And yeah, it feels like with the cosmos of connectivity and the lantern of insight, it's a call to recognize, or events in your life are calling you to recognize that your experience and how you navigate through it are connected to everything.
For sure.
There is a cause and effect to everything you do, everything you think, and the path you pursue in life. And so recognizing that the people in your life and the people everywhere and everything everywhere that is living is God's source, is connected, is another aspect of the whole, right?
Yeah,
God is everything.
The whole is everything. And as I was previously going over with my mom, the collectivist source is not something that distinguishes or discriminates or causes undue stress or disfortune to another because of heterodoxy, but it is rather events arrange themselves based on the manifester and the magician's capabilities, whether conscious or subconscious, and it is pertinent to this particular spread that the manifester, whatever context you wish to give to this particular manifester, is giving themselves a way out of disillusionment. And disillusionment is a constant, it is a draining lifestyle. Living in illusion, living inauthentically, it causes significant mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, whatever you wish to call it, all of those aspects within one's life.
And I do see in alignment with that, like this veil of illusion feels like the earth spell. Right? This veil of a certain small portion of reality that we see. And I see that this veil and what's kind of cast behind it are the myriad of colors of this connectivity. So events in your life are causing you to recognize that what you do to someone else and what they do to you has a direct effect on everything. Right? So this insight, this understanding, this could have been you've been pointed down a spiritual path that has helped you or motivated you or brought you to the doorstep of higher learning in some sense. And you are seeing glimpses beyond, the old programming or old belief system that you used to fully and wholly believe was the end all be all. You're now seeing more. So I think that's very cool, Gavin. Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's where would you want these so they stay viewable?
Stay
right here?
Yeah, right just keep them.
Okay, we'll put them right there, and then let's go to the next one.
All right, I will be the responsible party for this for this upcoming. So the next portion of this reading will involve Gavin and Natalie, both in a synergistic.
We're gonna do what is your strength?
Yes,
let's do that card.
That is what is relative to this next spread.
So Gavin is going to pull a card to see in what you're experiencing right now. What is your strength?
Yes. Please ask source. What is this strength? What is their strength? All right, so that one.
Let's just do one. Which one does it feels?
Yes. So I accidentally drew 3, but we have determined, and this was very interesting. So I drew up the happiness card, and I had this exact visualization during the procession of my shuffling, and me and my mother had previously saw that this symbology was relevant out during our practiceship of this recording, and this came out a significant amount of times during the procession of our tarot reading.
So what do you think
the
what does that speak to you?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go over what exactly personally this might apply to you in the following ways. So it is a woman who is currently being casted by like a golden hour sort of thematic, and then yes, it can be attested to the relevancy towards the Lantern of Insight, and the Lantern of Insight is illuminating this woman, and she seems to be happy because she is facing towards the left.
Here, I'll hold so they can see you.
And the left is often representative of direction. It's in tarot symbology, though this is oracular deck. This particular spread would have the one of the characters facing east, which is west, which is representative of volition and taking action and assuming ownership over one's destiny and over one's ability to change their life. And happiness is often associated with a pursuit that is constantly evolving. So happiness fades over time. So opting for long-term happiness or adapting to happiness that is longer lasting, often known by the Greeks as eudaimonia or human learning.
Yeah, and it can be, I'm feeling more this insight, not more, but in addition to that is what life is presenting you right now is a recognition that we are all connected, and that there is a world of truth beyond what it was that you thought you knew up until this point in your life, where this insight has come to you, this higher learning. And I see this higher learning as something that does bring you happiness, that is inspiring, that is giving you a sense of fulfillment you've never experienced before in navigating towards it. So your strength at this time is following your bliss, doing what makes you happy, and how this woman is facing the light. She's turned away from darkness and ignorance towards illumination and understanding. So your strength is in following what makes you happy.
Absolutely.
And this insight, it feels that with this lantern, she's looking at that insight, that illumination, that wisdom, that higher learning, and that's making her happy. So follow this inspiration.
Absolutely.
All right, and let's get into the next one.
Mother knows best. Excellent reading.
Okay, next one.
All right, so for this next upcoming reading, I will be asking the divine guidance of Source, what is your blind spot? And don't try and keep a secret. We're going to figure it out either way. We're going to get you through this. No more sweeping it under the rug, viewer. All right, I please ask Source, what is their blind spot?
What's in the blind
I told
spot?
you, we're going to figure it out for you, so just give me a second. We are going to use Divine Source and get this all squared away so that you can start living the life that's meant for you. All right, perfect.
I'll get it.
We did
got
not.
it.
Yeah. Oh. You didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
they didn't catch it. Viewer, you didn't catch it. No wonder it's a blind spot. All right, so, viewer. So, we pulled this card out. It is...
Do you want me to hold it? Do you want to look
message
at it? Or can you see it up this way?
Yeah, I can see it. So, the message of the third eye, it's a very, very, it's common in astronomy, and there's a lot of symbology to be had within, observing the heavens and the cosmos. And this red hue seems to be it looks very ominous to the untrained eye, but it's not to be ominous.
Could be passion.
Red is not representative of evil or sinister capability or something that is trying to harm you. It is actually representative of, at least in an astrological context, it is representative of fire. And fire is representative of passion and drive. And the shadow aspects of fire, however, since this was a blind spot, viewer, is that there might be anger or impulsivity or incapability to keep one's judgment afloat when faced with adversity. And trust me, there are some pretty problematic people in this world that can cause one to lose and stumble and be extremely angry. But impulsivity is your blind spot, and it is come in this finding that it is advised that the viewer overcome this impulsivity and become more emotionally stable in their assessments.
I like that. And messages from the third eye. right?
Yes.
This is a call that on your new spiritual path, this new direction you're embarking on in your life. What's in your blind spot that would help you, that is not being seen, is that you have a myriad of support, spiritual support that is waiting to step in upon invitation to guide you, to illuminate you, to help you follow your bliss, to help you see clearly how you can bring that to life, how you can make your dreams and your inspirations and your passions something that can be part of your life, perhaps part of your career, your income. And I feel called to read from the little booklet, to see what it has to say.
Each of these booklets comes with each of these tarot spreads right here, and I will hold this up so that the viewer has
Help
reference.
it so it doesn't have the glare.
Yes.
Okay, so let's read it. Trust the whisper. Your third eye is your intuitive center, the space that connects you to the mystical. The message from your third eye is for you and you alone. And with that, I'm feeling that we all have a very unique soul purpose and lens through which we see life and how we process life. So connecting with your authentic truth, right? When your intuition whispers, it is like an internal supportive friend who is guiding you along the journey of your life. This card is a nudge to listen and trust the whispers. What is it saying? It can feel easier to ignore the whisper, as it's not always what we want or expect to hear. But don't. Trust it. You are a special soul, and the sooner you act on this inner whisper, the sooner your full purpose will be revealed to you. If you've been struggling to find purpose lately, look no further. The answer is not going to come from outside of you. It will rise from you knowing yourself and the desires of your body. Your purpose is already written. Stop searching outwardly and look inward through the lens of your third eye. How to hear this message. To open your third eye, close your eyes and repeat this 5-part breath. Inhale deeply. Take a sip of air into your belly. Take a sip of air into your chest. Take a sip of air into your third eye, between the eyebrows and deep in the mind. Hold your breath for 5 seconds and squeeze your energy upward into the third eye. Release and repeat this 5 times. You will feel a tingling sensation at your third eye as it activates. And again, that's between your eyebrows. Hover your awareness here. Ask yourself the question, what is my message? And so this is where perhaps information that's needed to help you choose which way to go forward on this newfound inspiration will be gained from, is connecting with your inner sight. This can also be done through meditation, as always. Okay, and we'll go on to the next one.
All right, for the next procession of this reading, we are going to go through a couple of oracle cards. These cards right here contain various wisdoms in text form, like this one, for example. And we are going to ask Source and not let ego decide, but rather Spirit and Divine Source and the higher self of all of the collective. All right.
What advice does Source have?
What advice
Spirit?
does Source have for this viewer?
For the highest good.
Yes, and for the highest good of the viewer and the collective.
Ooh. You want to take these?
There you go. All right, that was very quick. All right, so for this card that I drew, resilience is one of the strongest qualities you will have. It has gotten you through so many tribulations in the past and trials, and it will continue to do so. Lean on that inner tower of strength anytime that you need it. You've got this. So we are being asked by Source, including us and in this tarot studio, as well as the viewer, that resilience is necessary for this particular transition in life, and that we are to go through the tribulations or the challenges or whatever difficulty. They can be easy or difficult or mediocre, it doesn't matter. It is called and advised by your higher self that you go through this transition or this challenge and you take it on with tribulation. For if you do not, it is very likely that you will have the same cycle repeat in a later life, and it will often be what is known as the past repeating itself. So if overcoming this difficulty right now will help you to avoid it in the future, and you will use the wisdom and the lessons provided from it to become better as an individual and evolve and expand the collective just through your act alone. It might seem selfish, or there might be some sort of self-motivation towards it, but self-love, I always argue with my mom about this. You can't pour from an empty cup. Like there is a thin line between self-absorption and selflessness, but stay between the polarities.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I feel called to get one more closing message of soul truth. So that card, I believe, came out in yesterday's, it was yesterday's love reading. So you may be part of this collective as well, outside of the area of romance, that this message is meant for you. What would you like to say to the collective spirit for their highest good and greatest expansion? Am I consistently showing up? And we have, some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, persevering, right? Even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. And I'm being called to a discussion that Joe Rogan had for somebody, or with somebody, where he said, if I worked out only on the days that I felt good, I would be a fat, you know what. So the majority of the time when you need to show up, or when it's going to do the most benefit for you to show up, is when you don't want to, right? So even when it feels uncomfortable, it takes guts and endless vision to stay consistent to your dreams. Today's soul action: journal where you can be more consistent in your life, in alignment with your soulful goals, and then show up.
Absolutely. And another quote, I was reading a book known as Getting Out of Your Own Way, Top 10 Behaviors of Self-Sabotage. In one of the books, the particular quote was, all of the beautiful sentiments of the world have no weight over simple, unadulterated action. Unadulterated meaning in its purest form. So action is the trumping force in this instance.
Yep. Action is what determines it's whoever perseveres and keeps going, right? Not the person who is the best at it, but it's the person who keeps going and doesn't quit. So we're going to leave the message there. I hope it was helpful for you in some way, and I'm sending you guys all so much love, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, goodbye. Thanks very much for having me on here, Mom.
You're welcome.